Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the podcast. My name is Lucas. As you can see below, Lucas Cricket 26. You should all be aware of me by now. I've doing these videos for a long time. Now, I don't have a guest with me today, but that's okay. I'll be doing this by myself. Now, I did the Indian squad for the Gavaskar trophy a few days ago with the boss of this channel, Gauravir. But just me for today. In case anyone is wondering, he is the boss. He sets up all the technical stuff. I don't have that equipment available, hence why he does it. And I'm not that good with tech anyway. But anyway, squad has been announced for both teams. We covered the Indians a couple of days ago. This time, the Australian squad has been announced. A couple of surprises for me. I was a little bit surprised in the direction they've gone. So as following the Australian squad, Usman Khawaja, Marnus Labuschagne, Steve Smith, Alex Carey, Travis Head, Mitch Marsh, Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark, Nathan Lyon, Josh Hazlewood, and the reserves will be Josh Inglis, Scott Boland, he's always around, and a new debut. The other opener for Usman Khawaja, Nathan McSweeney from South Australia, where I'm from. We'll get more detailed into him a little bit later on. In fact, I was going to leave that later on, but we'll probably get that quite shortly. So that's the squad. No surprises. We all know that Pat Cummins is going to captain the team. Sorry, I left him out. Sorry, Pat Cummins. Pat Cummins will captain the team. Alex Carey will be the wicketkeeper. We all know this. That's never going to change. But Scott Boland is the reserve bowler, and Josh Inglis is the reserve batsman. Very strange decision. Now, Josh Inglis we'll speak a little bit about Josh Inglis. Josh Inglis is a wicketkeeper, as we know. He's now the captain of the white ball team, captains this series against Pakistan. I probably will make a separate video for that, so stay tuned. Currently, right now, Pakistan are 2 for 90. They need only 140 to win. They're going to win that series, probably for the first time in a long time winning a series in Australia, white or red ball, but I'll get more into that the next video. So Josh Inglis has made a couple of hundreds in the Sheffield Shield. There was talk that he was going to be opening, maybe be outside the box. They've decided not to, but he will be around. Look, I don't like saying this, but for some reason, the selectors like Josh Inglis. They're putting unnecessary pressure on Alex Carey. And this has got nothing to do with him being South Australian. This has got nothing to do with Josh Inglis being in Perth. But for some reason, there's someone in Cricket Australia that just wants Josh Inglis around the team. I'm not sure why. Now, this was granted because he did score a couple of hundreds in the Shield, but I feel it's just unnecessary. I feel from my point of view, they're just waiting for Alex Carey to slip up. And I've got news for you folks. Alex Carey is not going to slip up. He's one of the best keepers in this country as far as glove work goes by a mile. Not even close. I think he's one of the best batsmen. Wicketkeeper batsmen going around. I think I'll give Josh Inglis credit this. I think he's the better batsman per se. But Josh Inglis is nowhere near the glove work of Alex Carey, from what I've seen. Not to say Josh Inglis is bad at keeping, but Alex Carey is. If you watch him in Shield games like I do, I actually went to a Shield game last week at Adelaide Oval where Alex Carey was keeping, and he was captaining that team. He did extremely well, Alex Carey, and guided the Redbacks to a win. Shivanish Singh says, "Hi Lucas, big fan, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, mate. Sorry for butchering your first name, but thank you." So it's just unnecessary pressure on Alex Carey, waiting for him to slip. He's not going to slip. He made that impressive 98 in New Zealand. Should have got 100. I'm not gonna comment on that because I think people are well aware of my comments on that by the selfish act by Pat Cummins. But anyway, moving on, he's not going to slip up. The other one that quite shocks me is Nathan McSweeney. He's also a South Australian, played in the Redbacks team. He's been talked around a little while. Made some runs early in the Sheffield Shield. No, he hasn't made big scores. Made a couple of runs. He got promoted to the Australian A game. He was captaining the Australian A game. Made some runs in that game. The Ball says hello, Ball. So he made some runs in that game, and then he's been promoted to opener. And then these two innings that he's played as opener has failed. Sam Constas, who was also in contention, who was my pick, I think he should have played in this series. Made a 70 not out chasing. So they were chasing a total, very tricky total. He made 70 not out. They were 4 down. Bo Webster, I want to get a little bit more into Bo Webster. I think he should definitely be involved in this squad, not just as a drinks person, but playing. I'll get more into that. But with Nathan McSweeney, he's a bit like a Cameron Green. Now, I know people have thought, oh, no, geez, I've smashed Cameron Green for Billy the Post. Cameron Green's a very nervous starter. Then when he goes past 50, 60 balls, then he starts to open up freely. When Cameron Green gets past scores of 20, he looks pretty good. He looks solid. Problem is for Cameron Green, he gets out too much below 20. Nathan McSweeney is a player that likes bat on ball. He's not a new ball. He's not a new ball player. He doesn't like the new ball. He goes a little bit slower. He goes a bit tentative. He doesn't open at shield level for the Redbacks. He doesn't even bat at 3 for the Redbacks. He bats at 4. So this is like putting a 4 as an opener, like Steve Smith. So this is like putting a Steve Smith back to opening. So he will go very. You have to be patient with McSweeney as far as run rate goes. He's going to be very slow until that new ball wears off. So you will see him score 20 from 50 balls, 20 from 60. He's just that play with the new ball. He just doesn't like the new ball. He likes the ball when it's flat, when it's old, when it's not swinging around. We know in the Kookaburra ball, it will swing for 20 overs. From 20 overs to 40 overs, nothing. After 40 overs, we'll see if there's reverse swing. And after the 40 overs, if there's no reverse swing, nothing. So he likes that. He likes the old ball where it's not doing as much. We just have to be a little bit patient with his run rate with Karaja. Karaja, by force, is not a fast player by any means with run rate. He likes to buy his time. While you had the perfect record with David Warner and Usman Karaja. Usman Karaja can play about his shots while Warner's going to play his natural game, which is aggressive. McSweeney is not like that. He is an actual number 4. The ball has just said what is McSweeney's natural batting position, which is 4 at the Sheffield Shield level. He's always batted at 4. There's some. I don't want to put shade on bloggers, on other YouTube hosts, but there's some that's saying he bats at 3. It's not correct. That's incorrect. He bats at 4 for South Australia. Trust me, I know, because I don't miss a damn ball when it comes to my Redbacks. Even though they've been doing crap lately, though the first 2 games have looked very promising. Wait and see. Fingers crossed. Ryan Harris doing a very good job. So McSweeney bats at 4. At times he might as well be opening because our openers are garbage under the Gillespie era. So sometimes, he's batting within 5 overs. But his natural position is 4. I think he'll be a very good 4 or number 5. You're not going to throw out Steve Smith yet, and you're definitely not going to get rid of Travis Head while he's the best number 5 in Test cricket going around. Time will tell with Steve Smith if he makes runs this series. Time will tell. But he likes bat on ball. He's a very good through the covers. He likes playing cover shots. Leg side, not so much. No, I wouldn't say it's a weakness, but he prefers onside batting. Through the covers, cut shots. Short ball, he's okay with the short ball. I haven't seen where he's been out too many times with the short ball. He's a little bit fine with that. The way he usually does get out is nicking to the slips, nicking to the keeper, evidently when there's a new ball, like we saw in the the second game, the Australian A, India A game, when he was opening. So that's a little bit about McSweeney. Now, McSweeney also, he hasn't, this is, he's only had 2 good years of cricket. Now, he's been in the Redbacks for a long time, very long time, but he's only had really 2 good years. Last year was a breakout year, and he's had a start to this year. So it's not like he's been making runs for 5-6 years. So we have to put that in consideration as well. This is a very left field pick for me. I thought they would have went with Sam Constas, who was amazing in the India A game. Other guy that I thought was lucky to miss out is Bo Webster. The ball has said, Lucas, you're going to watch any match in the BGT. I'll be watching all 5 matches. I'll be going to the Adelaide Oval, the day-night test match. There is no day-night test match for the Ashes, which is an absolute disgrace by Cricket Australia. They've gave it to Brisbane. That never works up there. So I don't know why Adelaide Oval was taken out of day-night test cricket. Absolutely no idea. But I will be going to the Indian Test Adelaide Oval for sure. Bo Webster. Bo Webster, I think he's in an era where it's just not going to work for him. If he was playing 10 years ago or maybe 10 years later and he was playing like this, he'd be a shoo-in for this national team. Unfortunately, Bo's last name is not Marsh and he's not friends with Pat Cummins. Yes, I did say that. People that know me, I tweet that all the time. So I don't know why. Well, we know why he doesn't get picked because his name's not Bo Marsh. The point is, Bo Webster has been brilliant. He's been our best. He's been the domestic all-rounder for the last 3 years. Not just with the bat, but with the ball also. He's not just like a Mitch Marsh who everyone, mass hysteria, says, oh, his bowling is great. He bowls when he doesn't actually bowl. Cameron Green, oh, he bowls 140. He bowls 145 when he doesn't even bowl 125. Bo Webster actually bowls. We saw in the India A game, he took 7 wickets in 2 games in those 2 series, the 2 test series or the 2 first class series against India A. He took 7 wickets. He scored 150 runs. So he is not a part-timer. He bowls a lot of overs for Tasmania. Seam bowler, very tall, like Cameron Green. In fact, I think that he's same height as Cameron Green. And he bats on green tops in Tasmania. So he's used to those pitches. And it seems to me Australia are going to bat on those pitches. So why the hell would you have Mitch Marsh in when you can have Bo Webster, who's used to green tops? And that's back-to-back games. Back-to-back games where Bo Webster has scored 45+ in a chasing total. First one against India A, where he made that 70, along with Nathan McSweeney, who wasn't opening in that game. And then just 2 days ago, Bo Webster, another 45 not out, chasing along with Sam Constas. I don't know why selectors continue to ignore him. Like I said, I know why. It's just because of Mitch Marsh and Cameron Green. They're mates with the captain. Bo Webster isn't. So that's just reality. I think George Bailey probably needs to be sacked. In my opinion, I think he's well past it. That's another talk for another day. But just on the squad, no Bo Webster, unfortunately. Nathan McSweeney's in. No Sam Constas. Scott Boland is going to be the backup. Now, Michael Neese has been injured. He actually did his hamstring in the second A game. Otherwise, he would have been the backup bowler. So they've gone to Scott Boland. I think this time they're going to be a little bit smarter with rotation. I don't buy into what Pat Cummins said. There's no such thing as rest. We play. That's not going to happen. If it's 1-1 after the third test, you're going to see some rotations. They're not going to be that stupid like they were last time, where they just used Stark and Hazelwood and Cummins. And then that Sydney Test match on day 5, they were out of gas. They were low. They weren't even bowling 130. And Pujara particularly and Butchart Punt ranked them down to the ground. So you'll see a different approach from Australia. They are going to go with green tops. The first test in Perth, I think that will be a green top. And Brisbane, I think, will be a green top. So we'll see where that goes. But the story is Mick Sweeney in and Scott Boland, the reserve bowler, which is probably right. Having said that, I want to see Lance Morris, who's a Perth player, by the way. He's from Perth. So my hatred towards, Perth players has got nothing to do with that. So Lance Morris should have been playing in this team. Probably when they toured India a couple of years ago, he should have been in that team ahead of Mitchell Starc. For some reason, not playing him. He is the best domestic bowler by a mile, a country mile. Lance Morris bowling high 140s, sometimes even 150. But his last name isn't coming, so he doesn't get in, unfortunately. But anyway, that was the squad review. So McSweeney in, he'll play the first test alongside Usman Khawaja. We've got to be patient. We really got to be patient with run rate. Now, I know we had a player, Ed Cowan, a few years ago, a little while back. His strike rate was pretty slow. And I remember everybody, just saying he isn't made for test level, he isn't made for that. We got to be patient with McSweeney on that. Because once he gets past the new ball, he'll pick up the run rate. He can score runs. He's a technical player. He can score runs. He's just not good with the new ball. So with high level, with boomers, just with boomers in swingers, it is going to be a brand new challenge. Marcus Harris. Ryan Harris is a South Australian state coach and a legend of Australian bowling. Can never forget that wicket he took of Alistair Cook in the Ashes. I think that was also in Perth, the Weka. Marcus Harris did not get picked mainly because of his problem with the in-swinger. Now, the Australian A game that was recently played, again, both times he failed. The second innings was complete shocker. I think it was Krishna. He went around the wicket, bowled a fifth stump line, bowled an in-swinger, it came in. Marcus Harris decided to play it, nicks behind the keeper. Just imagine what Boomer would do with those in-swingers to Marcus Harris. We already saw that a couple of years ago. So I think Boomer would be a little bit upset by that. Cameron Bancroft, forget it. He is done. He will never play cricket for Australia again. I don't know what the hell is wrong with him. Maybe he's lost motivation. Maybe his heart's not in it. But his technique, David Warner said this on Fox Sports, and it got everybody going. Everybody was up in arms. David Warner was right. He's made 4 ducks in his last 10 innings in red ball cricket. 4 ducks in 10 innings. He hasn't got past 30 in 10 innings in 4 ball ducks in red ball cricket. David Warner was 100% right. He's made runs in white ball cricket. In white ball cricket, he made that 70 run. Okay, that's fine. But we're talking about red ball cricket. 4 ducks. And a high score of 20 in 10 innings. Not good enough. Done. So I think we can forget about Cameron Bancroft, and I think everybody owes an apology to David Warner. David Warner does not owe not one single person in this country an apology. Doesn't owe anyone an apology. He owes you nothing. Whether you like it or not, whether the public of Australia like it or not, David Warner statistically is our greatest ever opener. Statistically. More hundreds than Hayden, more hundreds than Langer, more runs than Hayden, more runs than Langer. Statistically, much better conversion rate than Justin Langer and Matthew Hayden. Yeah, okay, he hasn't done it away. But if you want to narrow the, I don't want to turn this into a David Warner rant. But David Warner has done it away. The only place that has kind of put a demolish on his career is England. He's made 300s in South Africa. He's made 100 in Asia in Bangladesh, which, by the way, that was a chasing 100. The only place he's failed is England. So whether you like it or not, David Warner is our greatest ever, statistically, our greatest ever Test opener. I don't understand the hate for him. We'll never understand that. I don't understand it. Maybe he's too forward. He calls it as he sees it. But what he said about Bancroft, he was absolutely right. Who the hell do you want him? Who the hell do you want to say that about Bancroft? You want to get in some scrub that's played one Test for Australia and criticise Bancroft? David Warner was correct. And this game, when he made those comments, Bancroft played in that game and he made a duck. Got a question here from Shivash. He says, the reaction of the current ODI series loss versus Pakistan. Who's your opener alongside Uzi? We just said McSweeney will be his option. My option would have been Constas. My reaction to the ODI series loss, look, I don't know why the Australian players pulled out of this game. I've got no idea. There was rumours saying it's got to do with Shield cricket. They want to play Shield cricket. I don't know why they pulled out. There hasn't really been any information other than they've just been rested. Look, there is an emphasis that Australia don't care about white ball cricket. All right, that's not entirely true. They do care about white ball cricket. Unfortunately, they've lost 2 times to India in a red ball series at home. And they just want to focus on that. If this wasn't India, if this was a Sri Lanka, if this was a Pakistan, I'm sure these Test players would have played in those ODI games. Well, they're determined to beat India in India. They'd be playing Shield cricket, a couple of rounds of Shield cricket, and they're determined. They just want it. They think playing Sheffield Shield and skipping white ball series is the best preparation, and I can't disagree with that. I think they're well within their rights and probably granted. If anything. Can we see Bo Webster in the BGT series? The answer is no, because his last name isn't Marsh. As long as Mitch Marsh is in that team, any all-rounder might as well not even play anymore. They might as well just become a keeper or become an opening batsman. Bo Webster, like I said, he's the best all-rounder domestically last 2 years. He actually bowls. He bats on very difficult pitches in Tasmania, on green tops in Tasmania, scores hundreds on those green tops. But unfortunately, he's not Mitch Marsh. Wish he was, because he's a lot better batsman. He's a better bowler. Bo Webster is a way better bowler than Mitch Marsh. Way better bowler. He actually bowls. Mitch. This is funny. Mitch Marsh. He played a couple of games for WA in the Sheffield Shield, and he played a white ball game. You know how many overs Mitchell Marsh bowled in those games? 0. He didn't bowl a single ball where he could have. He could have bowled 5-6 overs. He didn't bowl any. So what the hell is he in? He's not even an all-rounder. He's just a batsman that bowls part-time. Bo Webster is an all-rounder. Bo Webster will bowl 7 overs an innings. That's what you call an all-rounder. It's not someone who bowls 2 overs a damn game, over 2 innings. That's not an all-rounder. That's a batsman that bowls part-time, like Joe Root. Mitch Marsh is closer to Joe Root than an all-rounder. And when I mean closer, I don't mean talent-wise, because he's not Joe Root. But Joe Root, he bats. He's one of the best batsmen in the world, but he bowls a little bit. He bowls part-time. He doesn't get picked as a frontline spinner. He's a good 4th backup option. Mitchell Marsh is a good 4th backup option. Bo Webster is a strike bowler. He'll bowl 6-7 overs in an innings. Tries to pick up wickets. That's Bo Webster. He took 7 wickets in these 2 games against India A. 7 wickets. He's not a part-timer. So, I'll start wrapping up the show. I'll answer one more question. Scott Boland will start ahead of Stark. He will not start ahead of Mitchell Stark. However, Scott Boland will play, I believe Scott Boland will play a big part in this series, I think. If it's 1-1, going into the third test, I think we'll see a squad rotation. I think they'll be a lot smarter. So Scott Bolden, I think, will play. And that's that. The last question I'm going to ask, guys, where is Guev? That's the channel's owner. He could not be available today. He was working today. So unfortunately, he was not available. I was doing it alone. I literally do this with James Butler. James Butler is English, by the way. He has no interest in this series. And I have no interest of seeing him in this series. With all respect to James Butler. Love you, Jimmy. Absolutely love you, but you got no business with this series, mate. Just wait till the Ashes come, pal, then we can talk. Your prediction. This will be the last question. I will wrap this show up. My prediction of this will be 4-1 Australia. Now, before the New Zealand series, before the Bangladesh and New Zealand series, I thought this was going to be 3-2 Australia. I was a little bit worried. New Zealand, they went into India, and the pitches weren't even spinning tops. They were seaming. So I don't know if the BCCI said, you know what, we need to prepare for Australia. They're going to make green tops. We're going to make seam-friendly conditions, and boy, they looked awful. I think the third pitch, the third test, that pitch was a spinning top, but the first one definitely, one against Bangladesh, they were seam-friendly conditions. You never in India win the toss and bowl first twice in the same series. That is that's unheard of, and I think the BCCI have done that a little bit deliberately, so they can prepare for some seaming attacks. And they were just awful against O'Rourke, who was special. Henry, who was brilliant in that second test. And I looked at that and I thought, no, you can't handle green tops. You might win one. I thought they might win the first one. It's been a long time since Australia played a test match. It's since March, since they played New Zealand. And I thought, you know what? I think it might take them a match. But yeah, I think if India are lucky, they win one. I've got no confidence in them whatsoever. Highest scorer and wicket taker from both teams. I think if India were to have any chance whatsoever, I think whether it's Bumrah, Jadeja, Washington, someone needs to take 20 wickets, 20 plus wickets. Well, and even that's probably not enough. Someone needs to take 25 wickets in that series. Whether it's Bumrah, Washington, Jadeja, Deep, someone needs to take 25 wickets. That series, if India had any chance. So I'll pick Bumrah for Australia's bowling side. I'll go with Gazza. I'll go with Lyon. Pat Cummins, Stark, and Hazelwood, they've had a pretty average couple of years. Nathan Lyon was very good in that Ashes series before he got injured. This is actually a pretty good point, actually. Nathan Lyon, since his injury, he's only played 2 tests. But I think he's ready to go. He wants to play. He'll be back for the Ashes series. Nathan Lyon says he wants to be there in the England series. Forget about the Australian series next year. He wants to go back to England. So Nathan Lyon will be there till he's 38, 39. That's what he said. And I believe every word he says. And that was untrue what I just said about him only having 2 test matches. So he did his calf in the England series, the Ashes a couple of years ago. He was out for the whole series. And then he came back for the summer. And then he played New Zealand. So that was untrue. So run scorer, India. I'm gonna go with Joseph Rule. Now, the New Zealand series, he got found out a little bit with seam bowling. The big question was, can he do it in bowling friendly conditions? He got found out a bit by Matt Henry and Tim Southey. But yeah, I don't think Kohli will have a big series. I don't think Rohit Sharma will have a big series. Giroud, the reserve wicketkeeper, I think he should open for India. He was fantastic in that India A game. Absolutely fantastic. I reckon he should open. So I'll go with Jaiswal. My confidence in that is 0. The Australian side, see, our top order's been out of form. It's been our middle order that's done the damage. I'm going to go with Travis Head. I reckon Head will hit a couple of centuries. So Travis Head for Australia for the run scorer, Jaiswal for India. Bowling, most wickets. Bumrah, he needs at least 25 wickets, even 30. And Lyon for Australia. Anyway, that concludes our show today. I probably may or may not be there for the Pakistan Australia review. We've lost that. We've lost that game. Pretty poor squad, to be honest. I understand why the test players pulled out. I'll cover that more on that video. There was spectators that complained about the pricing. Well, you had 4 WA players in that team, so don't know what you get local talent. So I don't know where the problem was with that. But anyway, see you for that video. Make sure to like and subscribe. You can add me on Twitter at Lucas ADE Uni or Lucas Cricket 26. The Lucas Cricket 26 is actually my district account because I'm a district player. I'm a grade 1 player. I don't really add people or follow people on that. I'm very active on that because I have state players on there. I follow blah 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 and all that. So just add me on the Lucas Adelaide Uni one and give us a follow. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe, and thank you so much, and goodbye.